Please video like and subscribe this channel. I had never expected parenthood to start on a distant planet. Yet here I was, standing on the glowing surface of Zorath 9, staring into eyes that shimmered like molten gold, and feeling the weight of a plea I could not refuse. The expedition to Zorath 9 had begun as a routine assignment. As a human representative for interstellar observation, my job was to monitor diplomatic relations and environmental developments on newly contacted worlds. I was trained to be cautious, to observe, and to avoid emotional entanglements. But nothing in my training could prepare me for the moment when a small, alien hand reached for mine. The world around me was breathtaking. Towering flora emitted soft luminescent glows, and rivers of liquid light wound across the landscape like veins of energy. The air was breathable but carried a sweet tang, unlike anything I'd experienced on Earth. The settlement of Zorathians, the planet's sentient inhabitants, was equally astonishing. Structures appeared grown rather than built, walls shimmering with living bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in harmony with the Zorathians themselves. I had been greeted formally by the Planetary Council and escorted to the living quarters designated for guests. I was midway through unpacking when I heard a soft giggle, almost like wind chimes in a breeze. Turning, I saw a small figure peering around the doorway. She was no more than 6 Zorathian years old, roughly equivalent to a human child of 8. Her skin was a pale lavender, dotted with subtle bioluminescent freckles that flickered faintly as she moved. Her eyes, impossibly large and golden, studied me with an intensity that made me pause. In that moment, I realized she had been observing me for some time. "You're new," she said, her voice melodic but tinged with shyness. "Yes," I replied cautiously, kneeling to be closer to her level. "I'm here to learn about your world." She tilted her head, considering me. Then, in a whisper so quiet it almost disappeared into the humming of the settlement, she said, "My mom likes you. Please be my father, human." I froze, unsure whether to laugh, panic, or cry. The words hung in the air like a comet frozen in space. I had encountered alien cultures, negotiated treaties, and faced hostile species, but nothing had prepared me for a child's plea. "Your mother likes me?" I asked, trying to clarify. She nodded, eyes wide and unblinking. "She says you are kind. You will protect me. You will stay with us." I swallowed hard. I don't know if I can do that," I said, carefully. I'm not a father." "Then learn," she whispered, tugging gently at my hand. The touch was electric, almost as if she were anchoring me to a world I didn't yet belong to. Before I could respond, her mother entered the room, a figure of serene authority. She was taller than any human, with deep violet skin that shimmered under the ambient light, and eyes that glimmered like molten silver. Her gaze softened as it fell on her daughter. "You have met Lyra," she said, indicating the child. "She has chosen you, not just as a guest, but as someone she trusts. It is unusual, but I do not interfere. She follows her instincts." I shook my head, overwhelmed. "I don't even know your customs, your ways. How could I possibly?" "You will learn," the mother interrupted, her voice calm but commanding. "Lyra is wise beyond her years. If she senses your heart, then it is sincere." For the next several hours, I found myself drawn into the rhythm of their life. Lyra was insistent yet careful, showing me the gardens where glowing plants purified the air, the small crystal pools where young Zorathians learned to channel energy, and the strange archives of knowledge encoded in living crystal structures. Everywhere I went, she tugged at my hand, whispering guidance and questions. As the day stretched into evening, Lyra led me to a floating observation deck overlooking the city. The sky was painted in hues I couldn't name, with 3 moons reflecting off rivers of radiant liquid. It was breathtaking and terrifying in its beauty. "Do you see?" she asked, her hand warm in mine. "This is our world. Our life. Our family. You can be part of it. I was silent. Every logical part of my mind screamed against the idea. I was human, from a small, fragile planet, thrust into an alien civilization. Yet, in the gaze of that child, I felt a connection deeper than any diplomatic alliance I had ever witnessed. Her trust was complete, unconditional. Night fell, and the bioluminescent lights of the settlement flickered like stars. Lyra's mother approached, carrying a small, softly glowing device. "This," she said, "is a bond crystal. It allows you to synchronize with our energy field, to communicate without words, and to share experiences safely. If you accept, you will be recognized as part of our family in every meaningful way." I hesitated, looking from the crystal to Lyra. The child's eyes shone with hope and anticipation. My heart ached in a way I had never felt. I accept," I whispered finally, extending my hand. The bond crystal floated into my palm, warm and alive. A wave of understanding and emotion surged through me, showing me glimpses of their history, their joys, and their sorrows. I felt their lives intertwine with mine, and the enormity of what I had agreed to sank in. Over the next several weeks, life on Zorath 9 became an intricate dance of learning and adapting. I discovered the subtleties of Zorathian culture, their methods of communication through touch, light, and emotion, their reverence for the natural energy fields, and their concept of family, which was far broader and deeper than human definitions. I stumbled often, yet Lyra's gentle guidance and the mother's patience helped me navigate the complexities. One day, while exploring the crystalline archives, I stumbled upon records of other humans who had been invited into alien families. Few had succeeded. Many had failed, unable to bridge the emotional and cultural divides. The realization both terrified and galvanized me. I had been given an extraordinary opportunity, one that could change the trajectory of my life forever. Then came the test. A crisis threatened Zorath 9, an energy storm of unprecedented scale was approaching, capable of destabilizing the planet's core. The Council was in disarray, unsure how to shield the settlements in time. I knew this was my moment to prove that I belonged. Using my understanding of human engineering and the knowledge I had gleaned from the Zorathian archives, I collaborated with Lyra and her mother to recalibrate the planetary energy shields. Hours stretched like years as we worked tirelessly. Lyra's tiny hands assisted where she could, her focus unwavering. Finally, with a surge of coordinated effort, the shield stabilized, and the storm passed harmlessly above. Relief and elation rippled through the settlement, and the Council formally recognized me as part of the family and the community. Lyra ran to me, throwing her arms around my legs. "You're my dad now," she shouted, her voice echoing through the glowing city. I knelt, hugging her tightly. Yes, I am," I whispered. The weight of her words, the depth of her trust, and the profound bond we had forged left me both humbled and overwhelmed. That night, as the moons of Zorath 9 glimmered overhead, Lyra's mother joined us. "You have done well, human," she said softly. "You have chosen to embrace what is unfamiliar, to love what is alien. That is courage. That is family." I looked at them both, the small, luminous child and the serene, powerful mother, and realized that my world had indeed changed. I had come to Zorath 9 as an observer, a visitor, a cautious diplomat. Yet, through a child's trust and a family's acceptance, I had discovered a place where I belonged, a bond that transcended species, and a life far richer than I had ever imagined. Lyra tugged my hand once more. "Come," she said, "there's so much more I want to show you." And as we stepped into the radiant city together, hand in hand, I knew that the plea of a small alien child had altered the trajectory of my life forever. I had found family among the stars, and in doing so, had discovered a part of myself I never knew existed. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and sometimes terrifying, but it was also capable of unimaginable love, connection, and belonging. And on Zorath 9, beneath glowing skies and shimmering moons, I had finally found all three.